listen to this.
I must say, as honored as I am to be nominated or interviewed, I have to confess that the very first thing I did was to go and search the internet for what it means to be a person of integrity. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase imposter syndrome. It's the situation where you feel you're not worthy of whatever it is you're being presented.
When in March 2022, he was appointed Acting Director General of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NACIMA, Opeyemi Alaran was not just being recognized for his professional competence, they were appointing a good man to a well-deserved post. Up there, he said, he had to look up to the meaning of integrity to be able to respond to our choice of him as a model. That's the man, humble and practically childlike. Incidentally, he's just displaying traits of a child who got early exposure to the ways of God.
My early childhood was a very religious one. I was raised in, I would say, a partially Catholic household. I attended church with my mom. My dad, though Christian, wasn't Catholic. And I don't know if you are aware of the Catholic faith. Catechism is a very strong foundation in that. So I remember early on the formation of this moral code in terms of Sunday school, Bible readings, Bible stories, not just in church, but also in school. I remember in school having Fridays dedicated to, I think it was called moral aptitude or something like that, where you know, as kids, you just keep getting told stories that made that clear line between what is good and what is evil. So to answer your question as succinctly as I can, I would say yes, the childhood did provide a very strong foundation for how I live my life today. Church also played a very strong role, but not just church, family, because when you do leave church, you come back home and as children you're watching your parents, you're watching your uncles, you're watching your aunties. When you get to school, you're watching your teachers, you're soaking up all that knowledge and instruction. I would say that's where it comes from, really.
So, who really took young Opeyemi into God's vineyard at that early stage of life?
In the direction of religion, church, the discipline that came from religion, then my mom. But there were a lot of other role models, you know, that, like I said, either positively, I had negative role models in the sense that you look at somebody and say, I don't want to be like this uncle, you know, or I don't want to be like that auntie. So, yes.
Interesting. Even those who displayed negative traits were for Opeyemi a deterrent from the wrong route in life. Not everyone gets blessed with early wisdom, the kind young Opeyemi acquired.
What you need to know about the organization is that you stand at a crossroads of being able to channel resources to, you know, certain businesses in terms of access to information, in terms of, you know, access to opportunities. So the challenge that you see when it has to do with keeping your integrity intact is the normalization of unethical things, or should I say the weaponization of things that may otherwise seem harmless. Say gift giving, for example. So I come to your office and I'm really not coming to ask for anything, but as I leave, I would like to give you a gift. You know, it's a very gray area. It looks like, you know, it's harmless. It's I'm just being given a gift, but it's dangerous and it becomes a challenge because by the time you've received gift 2 times, 3 times, 4 times over, one way or the other, it influences your decision making at the point in time where decisions need to be made, no matter how objective, you may want to be.
The second challenge for him then was how to handle the so-called quota system, which required a spread of positions across Nigeria's ethnic realities. He found it somewhat discomforting for a job or post to go to another individual due to the legal requirement of spread when a more qualified man from another ethnic group is around. In adult life and as the top helmsman in Nasima, Mr. Alaran had a personal solution to bias in making decisions that affected others.
I guess each person of integrity has a way they surmount these challenges, but how it has been for me is the one singular emotion of empathy is what usually helps me, as in not really focusing on personal benefit first, but looking at, putting myself in the shoes of whoever is, in need at that point in time. So as acting director general of Nasima, it would be my role to try and help businesses. So when you go approach the job from a position of empathy, you're not considering decisions in terms of who it benefits, but how many people, that decision will benefit, how many problems will be solved. So that has helped in trying to maintain that sense of moral uprightness and that moral code.
Talking about a moral code, it does tally with Mr. Alaran's definition of integrity. He goes back to the search for the meaning of integrity, which he said he embarked upon following his nomination for this project.
Interestingly, everything I could find to define integrity was some other word that had its own meaning. For example, somebody with integrity is someone who's supposed to be honest. So why not just say an honest man? Or is somebody that is supposed to be humble? So just go ahead and say a humble person. But I got to the point in my search where it just said, look, a person of integrity is someone with high moral standards who tries to live his or her life according to an ethical code that has, a high quality of morals imbibed.
What is his solution to criticism for being a man of integrity?
Own it, whatever name you're called, because it is in when you waver that you fail. But when you own whatever name you're called and get known, have the reputation of being consistent, eventually those names will lose the tendency of being an insult and will actually be an endearing term. Start calling you pastor, but it's no longer in an insultive tone. It's just an endearing term as nickname of what you're being called.
It was a meeting at the Lagos Chambers of Commerce with Opeyemi that really convinced me within a couple of hours of the meeting that he was a man that I could rely and go the extra mile for me. From an integrity point of view, there's no question. I can only say for my own purposes as well that I'm a one-man business. If I was, I survive on my integrity, my honesty, and the delivery of what I say. And Yemi is really, I think, a good example of what I hold dear in terms of my being a successful independent consultant.
Since I have known him, I have never met a man that is so straightforward with his way of life. He has a plan for himself, even at that age. Like I said, he was 15 when I met him, 14, 15 when I met him. And up to today, he's somebody as straight as arrow. He's that kind of person. If he tells you yes, it's yes. He doesn't mind doing everything to ensure that yes will be yes. If there's anything called accountability, he's ready to do it. He's always ready to put his life on the line to ensure that his word is maintain his words. Now they want to renew him as this thing, and he refused. I said, what? He said, well, when things started getting to the point at which some old folks wants to start playing their game because he doesn't want to play the game. Are you getting it? The game of money, the game of contracts, the game, and he doesn't want to soil his hand to resign. I said, who does that? He said, I will do it. And in fact, I have done it. I said, why? He said, no. Anything that will improve his integrity is not ready to go into. And for that reason, he resigned that juicy position.
During our time, he's exhibited extreme uprightness. He was very professional in all his activities, in his conduct, in everything he does. There was a point where we were opportune to apply for certain grants, and because of he felt there was a conflict of interest, he refused to go for the application. He refused to apply for it, which just it just shows the nature, his kind of nature.
I can confirm to you that Mr. Opeyemi Alaran is a man of integrity. I trust him, and he's what exactly he has said. He personifies integrity. He personifies a personality who thinks out of the box and who go the extra miles to do his duty and work. Well, due diligence. Opeyemi Alaran worked with me in Nasima while I was serving as Director General of Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. He was the Director of Research, IT and Policy Development. Intellectually, I find him very, very useful, capable. And as a person of integrity, in terms of accountability too as well, it was indeed an epitome. I will say that I run Nasima closely with Opeyemi Alaran. I'm always ready and able. Each time I travel, with absolute confidence, I hand over Nasima to him.
And the man, Opeyemi Alaran, continues a life of self-respect, laced with a strong theme of remaining fair to the other man.